All right, welcome back to another episode of the Cameo podcast, CIVIC election edition, because we're going on 16 days to the election. So make sure you get out and vote, do your research, and maybe listen to a couple of the Cameo podcasts of the civic election candidates. I'm sitting here with Shawn Harnett, one of the municipal election candidates. How are you doing today, Shawn?
Good, thank you.
Wonderful. And so we tried to meet last week, had to reschedule, so I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
Yeah, me too.
And I was driving in and I was just looking around at all the signs. I haven't seen your name out just yet. What's going on there?
I know you just looked at your calendar and said we're 16 days out. And
yes.
Yeah, in my mind, I was like, I got to get those signs out tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's been, life gets in the way, things get in the way. I can't forget I got my 2 kids, and this election is, I go family first, the election second, and it's been a slow start for me. I've been transitioning through some things in life right now, and tomorrow morning's the day. They're made. I had a little football party last Sunday, and we all sat there and made signs and watched football, and I got the post this week, so it's a bit of a process, but kudos to those that had them out weeks ago. But
yes.
I'll flood the city tomorrow morning.
Brilliant. What drew you to running in the election? Well, did you run in the by-election as well?
No, I considered running in the by-election, but I just saw there was so much strength, and it also wasn't good timing for me. So there's so many awesome candidates that stepped up for the by-election. I thought we're better off, with any of those 2 getting in, really. And then we saw Kathy Sinclair get in, which is awesome, and she's running again. What drove me to run was I thought about it 4 years ago, and I thought that would have been a great time for me to run. My business was going really well. I had a fair amount of spare time. I didn't have to spend every minute every day at my business, and so it was kind of a regret thing. I regret not running, and vowed that I would run in 4 years, hell or high water. So it seems like the water's high, and I'm treading water, but I'm running regardless. Yeah.
What's your background when you say you owned a business?
I moved to Kamloops 12 years ago, and I had to transition out of. I was a professional gambler for 6 years. I used to play.
Interesting.
Yeah, I used to play poker. Traveled a lot to Vegas. Found out I was going to be a dad, and left the Lower Mainland and looked for a piece of property. And we wound up in Kamloops. So that was when the poker boom happened. When all of a sudden it was televised on every TV, and every college kid was going to pick up a book. So I knew it wasn't going to last. At least what I had going on wasn't going to last. So came to Kamloops, opened a phone book. Flipped through the yellow pages, looked at different businesses, companies, and at that time, catering only had 3 people in the phone book. So I started a catering company, and 5 years later, built my second commercial kitchen. Year 6, we hit $1 million in sales. So we made it pretty big. So I did that for 10 years. I spent the last 3.5 years up at the Coastal Town Conference Center, managing their entire food and beverage operation, and here I am.
Awesome. That's quite an interesting career change.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Playing poker at such a high level like that, man, there's nothing that you could throw at me in the catering business that fazed me.
Yeah.
Right. So they kind of back onto each other. A lot of things I learned in poker helped me in business, and now a lot of things I learned in business could probably help me in poker if I chose to play again. But all that aside, yeah, I'm definitely well-versed now in the food and beverage industry. I have composure. It's been an interesting path, and I'm excited to see, what's next even.
Yeah, I've never actually spent a single dollar of my own gambling ever. I'm quite proud of that. So I'm curious what your thoughts are of what's going on at the casino right now with the strike going on 3-4 months, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a union. They go on strike. I don't love unions, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hope they're not listening.
Yeah. Well, I have my issues with unions, too. I'll be honest. I'll throw my name down there.
Okay, good.
I battle with unions, and I chatted with Alyssa Klee about unions.
Okay.
And because she's running against you, right? But, she is an electrician, right? So her standpoint was like, the unions are really now there for, the LGBTQ community, the female electricians, right, in that particular side of things, right? And that made a lot of sense to me. So my opinion on unions is changing, though I have my gripes against them all the same. What are kind of the top 3 points of your campaign that you're kind of running on?
Number one, small business. You know what I mean? I think they're constantly, I almost swore, pooped on. And, I don't think they have a...
It's okay.
I don't think they have... Okay, it's good.
You don't have to worry. This is an unfiltered, unedited...
Oh, okay.
I own the platform, right? It's
all right. Well, I think small businesses, get shit on, and not literally, but, and the fact that I don't think their voices are heard, really. I mean, we focus a lot on, the major employers, and they have a problem, it gets addressed right away. But if you put all the small business together and made them one unit, they'd be pretty massive,
It's like 85% of Canada's businesses are actually SMEs, small, medium enterprises.
Yeah, and they're like the backbone of our community, man. These heroes get out every day, run these businesses, and some are well off, sure, but a lot of them are riding that fine line every day that they go to their business, suit up, and maybe they're poor operators, so they should be better business people, but it doesn't change the fact that they go out there every day, they're employing 6, 10, maybe 12 people, maybe they're working for $4 an hour while doing it, and then any change that happens that affects them, 3-4% in their books, that could be the nail in the coffin for them any given day.
Absolutely.
A small swing like that could bury that company, him over there. I think we need to take care of the small business we have. I understand we want to attract, small business to Kamloops and grow, but, let's make sure that they're going to be successful once they get here.
What hurdles did you overcome when you started your own business? Because that's a scary venture that I'm venturing into right now.
Well, I'm pretty hardcore, so I grew that business really fast. It was like a whirlwind, so I didn't have too many issues. More of it was just trying to keep up with the increasing business. So I maybe, it was about year 5 probably when I started hitting some hurdles, and just trying to think back. I can't think of anything specific, but it was like 7-8 years ago. But it was like I opened the business, whirlwind. 5 years later, I'm starting to level off, and I had my issues, getting a liquor license approved, 4 months down the road. I had an event booked, and I promised them, I'll have the liquor license by then. It's 4 or 5 months away. Mm-hmm. No problem. Nope.
Oh,
well, that was embarrassing. So, and I hear that from a lot of, businesses now. That specific thing is hurting people nowadays as well, say John Doe wants to open a restaurant right here, gets the business license, starts paying his lease, but a big part of his business plan was going to be, liquor revenue. Mm-hmm. 6 months in, he doesn't have any liquor revenue. 8 months in, no liquor revenue. What's taking so long?
Yeah. I understand there's a cap of some sort on the liquor licenses or something. I might be misunderstanding that in town, that you have to trade it almost, buy into a business to then get their license. I might be incorrect about that, though.
I don't know it in and out, myself. I just know that there was a lot of hoops I had to go through, or they would say, do this, and then we can move forward. And then I would do this, and by moving forward, they mean we'll get back to you in 3 weeks, mm-hmm. just to tell you to do that. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So as someone, if you got on the city council,
yeah,
what would you do to create support for those SMEs that you want to encourage?
I can't say specifically because I am just one person on council.
Yeah.
Right? So, I personally will, create a relationship with all the small business owners, give them my phone number, constantly want to hear what they have to say. And you can't tackle every issue, but you're mm-hmm. going to find some common issues, totally. That by addressing could help them succeed, and then bring those to council and try to get the other 7 people behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're a few weeks into it. It's all over the media. The election, is coming up pretty quick. What trends have you kind of seen people bringing up to chat with you about that they're concerned with?
Needles, police, and homelessness.
Yeah, okay.
It's almost like nothing else exists.
Yeah, totally. Which is an IH issue in my views, right? It's interior health, right? The city councilors can only go so far.
Yeah.
What do you think, though, that the city council could do to try and tackle that?
Well, I believe in, after a trip to Japan, I saw their micro-housing system out there, and I was blown away. I did an Airbnb out there, and it was $39 a night, and I couldn't believe it. I'm downtown Tokyo, $39 a night. What's up? I look it up on the internet. Oh, well, this guy's only paying $500 a month. rent downtown Tokyo. Why don't we have this? You know, at that time, I was fortunate to be on that vacation, but I'm a single parent of 2 kids. So,
oh, you're a single parent too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I have my kids, 24/7, and so I've lived that housing problem. And I don't see that there would be an answer. Property prices are going up, so is John Doe's mortgage. So of course he has to charge X amount of rent. So I don't know. I think people who aren't in such a great financial situation would have to resort to microhousing, giving up some personal living space in exchange for, freeing up some cash. I would have done that in a heartbeat. I would have crammed me and my 2 kids in something that's livable and fun. You know, made it fun, and then had some money to do all those things. But I think I've been in a tough spot where I've been backed into a corner. You're paying the bills, and you can't even. There's no steak dinner. You look a year down the road, and you're like, man, I'm never even going to get to go to the keg. Like, this is hopeless.
Well, there's no keg anymore.
True. Should be.
we got Romeo still.
Yeah. So, housing is a big thing, and I would like to push for more housing issues to be solved, microhousing specifically.
Microhousing is a very interesting topic. Like, I've looked into it for myself.
Yeah.
My wife is a no-go. She wants the big house, and living in a smaller place right now, I'm starting to agree with her. But you're talking about like the pods. Like, have you seen the pods where they like stack them? Where really it's just like a bed with a TV screen, and then you have
the sleeping pods.
Well,
maybe not that micro. Maybe not that micro, but yeah, I've seen those, and it was neat. I kind of wanted to try it out, but because I was with my daughter in Japan, it was just the 2 of us. I couldn't separate from her, and those are pretty neat. I don't know if people are living in those.
They're about to.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think it was on the table, and then they would have communal shower areas.
It's all about that sense of community with the tiny home community or these micro housing things. Or you can look at what Dan Hines is doing with his like shared living. He calls it the bird's nest.
I don't know. What is that?
So that's the Green Party candidate for this area.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, he lives with like 3 or 4 other families in one big communal house, right? And they do communal dinners, and they call it like the bird's nest or something, right? It's flipping the switch on what is considered a home or how you live, right? Do we really need these 4,000 square foot homes?
No. For
2 people.
This is a great idea. And then so one person, you only have to cook dinner once or twice a week?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, they like I had back home, they had like a family of, there was 5 kids in the one family and 3 kids in the other, and they lived in a townhouse. And they somehow made it work. And it was just communal living. You had no personal space, but they had the mortgage of what would be the equivalent of probably someone paying rent for 3 people in Kamloops. And they had like 11 people living comfortably.
I would do this in a second.
Totally.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
The wife, no.
Yeah. Well, I don't have one, so.
So you're lucky.
But every time I cook for me and the 2 kids, I cook way too much. You can't cook for 3 people. You can't
absolutely.
Cook a turkey for 3. Feeds 12. And 99 cents a pound right now.
That's true. No, or you just delay the Thanksgiving dinner 1 week and it goes down even more.
We just had one 2 nights ago.
Oh, brilliant.
I couldn't wait to rock out the turkey.
You got to still live that catering life and do food and beverage. What's something else in your platform that you're kind of advocating for that you want to get out there?
Well, the small business, the micro housing is something that comes up a lot. Those are the 2 major focus. We have a lot of, issues going on. Some, I should be learning more about. Like, I got asked the other day about our public transportation, and I said I thought it was great. Like, what do you mean our public transportation system sucks? Mm-hmm. So there's some things I need to get out and learn more about. I don't want to be quick to jump on issues. I'm going to stick to my main 2. Mm-hmm. But the public transport, obviously, I was ignorant to that. I don't ride the bus, so I don't know. But now, since then, I've talked to like 10 different people, and it seems, it's a major problem.
Totally.
The biosolids.
That's a huge one right now.
That's something that's irking me, for sure. I don't think it's talked about enough, to be honest, but all I hear is like, can't wait for Blackwell Dairy to come back. Like, whoa. I don't want to drink that.
Yeah. Like, I love their milk.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And they're a great community supporter. I'm just learning about biosolids.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Like, I don't fully understand it. All I know is kind of it's the filtered out stuff that can't go through the sewage waste transportation or plantation or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And they're just left with all this junk.
Yeah.
Which in Africa, they actually turn into like barbecue briquettes somehow.
That's great.
They turn the waste into barbecue briquettes, or even, I understand Kelowna does something like that, right? Now you have like a fuel source.
Hey.
Right? So you're turning your sewage into fuel, right? It's trying to change people's mindsets of what to do with it. You don't just truck it out, which is what it sounds like they did.
Just stick it in the ground.
Stick it in the ground, truck it out.
Calculate it.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that if we could make some briquettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently it's totally safe, right? Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I barbecue with charcoal.
Yeah.
And charcoal's expensive, so if, we can get the briquette program running, maybe price will go down.
Yeah, I have a charcoal barbecue, but it was my bona fide smoking container.
Nice.
All my smoke went in there. What's something about Shawn Harnett that you wanted to chat about with other media that you haven't had the chance to?
I guess people who know me, like in the community, and I'm pretty closed book. I keep my cards close to home. People don't know a lot about me, except for my friends. But people wouldn't know that, what I do in my spare time, or I just wanted them to know. Like I'm a regular guy. I'm out there hustling, right? Like you are, right? Mm-hmm. It's what I'm doing right now. I've been a lot of things. I've been happily married. I've been divorced. I've been a single parent. I've been a successful entrepreneur. I've been bankrupt. I've been, I've
been through the waves.
Yeah. So when I tell somebody like, hey, I know what you're going through, I do, and I would never say, that's one of my pet peeves is if you're going through something tragic and somebody goes, I know what you're going through, but they haven't been through it themselves. Well, no, you don't. So, if I say I know what you're going through or I've been there, I have been. It's been like we said earlier, it's been a wild career for me, changes and ups and downs. So I've been there. I've been there in the trenches on the front line, and I'll do it again.
Yeah. What drew you to Kamloops when you decided to move?
It was I went to go to the grocery store in Langley, and it should be a 5-minute drive. It took me 35 minutes to get there. And I just came home and said, that's it, we're out of here. And at the time, I let my wife, I said, you choose. And I used to drive up to Kamloops every other weekend from the Lower Mainland and go fishing, all these great lakes. Funny, since I lived here, I've been fishing 6 times in 12 years. But
funny how that works, eh?
Yeah. So we looked in Vernon, Kelowna, Kamloops, and I just told my wife at the time, like, you pick. I just want to get out of here. And Kamloops was her least favorite, but the one house that we stumbled across, we left it, and her eyes were huge. And she said, we have to have this house. We have to have it. I said, okay. And rest is history.
That's really funny that even in your moving to Kamloops story, we lost to Kelowna, which is a funny thing that Kamloops always has, like this ugly stepsister mentality to Kelowna, right?
Well, I was leaving Langley. To me, Kelowna's like Langley, but with a lake. Like, you're still going to go to the grocery store one day and get stuck in traffic for 40 minutes, or, and they have a lot of what seems like apparent crime happening on the streets. Langley was the same way. So I'm really glad we didn't wind up in Kelowna, because I would have been unhappy right away.
But you can also see the growth of Kamloops in the last year specifically, right?
Yeah.
Of that crime on the streets. And, I can't run out somewhere in 15 minutes. It's now like 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's creeping up. I even had to wait at a set of lights twice the other day, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's this all about? I better get on council and change this.
Or parking lots, man. Like, parking lots are always this thing that Kamloops has, and I'm starting to, like, I'm not from Kamloops, but I'm starting to, like, understand Kamloops' hatred or love to complain and gripe about parking lots because they're getting full, which is a good thing. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out, where do we grow from here? Where do you think Kamloops should be in 5 years?
A lot of the best communities don't even have vehicles downtown. You know what I mean? They shut it down. It's walk only. I don't know. I keep saying, like, we should keep going the way we're going because Kamloops has had a lot of success. Like, I don't wake up every day and complain about this and that. Obviously, there's some things we need to tackle, but this is like compared to where I used to live, this is a great place to live. We need to keep doing what we're doing, but yeah, we need to be ready for the growth. We have to look at our roadways, etc. You know, like you said, the parking lots, or like I said, I had to wait at a set of lights, twice. It's a little thing, but if we don't watch this stuff in 3 years, I'm going to wait at that set of lights 5 times before I get through the intersection, and it's going to take me a half an hour to get from downtown to Sahali. So I think we need to keep an eye on these things and plan accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, not to throw a controversial topic, what do you think of the MacArthur Island situation?
Well, I'm pretty passive on this one, actually. The park, great idea. The disc golf, great idea. I guess they can't share.
Oh, they don't want to share?
Or they don't want to share. Okay, whatever. MacArthur Island needs something like these, right? To me, I'd be happy to let the residents of Kamloops decide which one. Just, it needs something,
mm-hmm.
right? Either one's a great idea. I don't want to get behind one or the other because they're both going to improve that space. They're both going to draw people to it. They're both positive change. One way or the other.
I'll agree with you. Like I'm looking at it and I'm friendly with both sides, and I don't fully understand why they can't exist, but I don't understand why they can't have that conversation properly. And it's I guess the council's job to kind of work on encouraging that conversation.
Yeah, because there's other players. I saw Mike O'Reilly pitching that the park should go at the base of Peterson Creek, I believe, right? Good idea as well. But
the passive park?
I think so. Yeah, I just saw it on Facebook, kind of passed by real quick, and I didn't read the whole post, but
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, yeah, I guess that would be council's job to get them to talk, and why can't you coexist, and why can't is disc golf a 7-day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7-day-a-week thing? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a hot thing right now. Like, I've been oblivious to disc golf all this time. I keep getting invited out. I'm like, no. But it's a hot thing. Like, a lot of people are playing it. So maybe it is a 12-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week operation. But if it's not, then yeah, why can't you guys coexist and figure something out?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm kind of passive. Like, I'm just glad something's going in there. And yeah.
So one of the criticisms a lot of people have had about some of the council members is they're rather passive on certain decisions. Would you say that's a trait of you, or will you take a hardline stance when it deserves it?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. I'm a fierce competitor, and like I find ways to compete and things I shouldn't. And being on council would be one of them. When I dig into something that I believe is right, I dig in hard, and I'm relentless. So. I'm passive about this. Everything's different. Every situation, I might be passive, aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But if I dig into something, like something I truly believe in, I fight pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. So what's next? What's on the docket for Shawn for the future, or moving forward? What's your next few things that you want to share as we kind of wrap things up?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I got some sticks in the fire right now. I've always, I was actually in the tent and event rental business years ago. It coincided with my catering company, and then I was bought out by Rogers Rentals with a no-compete clause for a few years. So I'm thinking, it's looking like I'm going to get into that business again. Of all the sticks in the fire, that's my favorite one. So if I can toast that marshmallow and get that going, it should be up and running within a month.
Oh, wow. That's a quick one.
Yep.
Even going into winter, that's...
Yeah, I'm not going to stock up on all the inventory yet, but I'm going to build the platform of the business and then start selling for next summer, right?
Yeah.
Selling weddings and stuff, right? I don't need all the inventory in stock to do that, and then I'd look to open the storefront March 1st.
Yeah, my cousin had a wedding. I wasn't able to go to it, but like the rental was like $10,000 for this tent.
It used to drive me nuts when I was catering all the time. Was I'd go to an event, I'd have like 15 staff running around like crazy, right? It's expensive. Staff running around, do all the catering. Final bill $5,000. The rental company shows up on Sunday with 2 guys, tears everything down in 2 hours, leaves $10,000.
It was crazy. I'm trying to picture the size of this tent. Like they had a farm, and it was like apparently it was
probably like a 40 by 100.
It rained, and so it apparently had like a couple inches of mud underneath it all. But like it was a hell of a party, I've been told.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get back out to Ontario. But where can people find you, Shawn, in the future if they want to learn more about you and understand a little bit more about what you're about?
Yeah, I mean, I got my campaign page. It's on Facebook, elect Shawn Harnett for City Council. My email address, the Harnetts with a Z, TheHarnettz @gmail.com, or just give me a call, 250-572-3462.
Perfect. Awesome. So, make sure you vote if you're listening on the 20th. It's super important that you get out and vote. Do your research, vote. You can vote for one person. You can vote for 8 people or any number in between. Just get out, vote. It's your civic duty. If I could ask a second thing is subscribe and share this with anyone who might enjoy learning a little bit about Shawn from a different angle, a little bit more laid back, a little bit more candid. And thank you, Shawn, for meeting with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have something to say? Or?
Oh, it's just totally escaped my brain. Like, I love to cook, right? Like, I think that's evident. We keep talking about briquettes and stuff. I made a final edition cut last Tuesday for MasterChef Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so last Tuesday I was in Vancouver with 28 other people.
That's really cool.
Casting for 3 to 4 spots on the show.
So that puts you in those spots, or you're about to figure out if you get...
I'll know in a week, yeah.
Are you allowed to share that?
Right now I am. But
perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, just a side note, totally slipped my brain.
That's really exciting.
Talking about what's on the go, like I might get a phone call and then that'll be on the go.
Totally.
But, you never know.
Yeah, one of my wife's friends, we went to her wedding and made it on her and vice versa, whatever. Her brother was on MasterChef.
Oh.
And he was out of Langley, actually.
Really?
Young guy. And, yeah, I don't have television, so I wasn't able to watch it or anything at all, but super cool. I know someone else who's, like, in town in the running for, like, one of those, like, kind of big baking kind of shows.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're allowed to say too much either. But there's some pretty interesting and awesome people in this town.
Yeah.
And that's what I try and highlight on my little podcast. So thank you for chatting with me.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay.